Why did the chocolate custard cross the road? Because it was putting on a show. Welcome, my fellow food enthusiasts. Today we're diving into a topic that's sure to satisfy your sweet tooth, National Chocolate Custard Day. Now you might be thinking, a whole day dedicated to chocolate custard? What's the scoop on that? Well, let me tell you, it's a day that takes the cake, or should we say the custard. National Chocolate Custard Day is a day of indulgence, a day to celebrate the creamy, chocolatey goodness that is chocolate custard. It's not just about eating chocolate custard, though that's certainly a big part of it. It's about appreciating the culinary artistry that goes into creating this delightful dessert. It's about savoring each spoonful and letting the flavors dance on your tongue. And so we embark on the delicious journey of exploring National Chocolate Custard Day. Did you know? The first chocolate custard wasn't a dessert, it was an accident. A clumsy chef dropped a chocolate bar into custard and voila! It might sound like a tall tale, but the history of chocolate custard is as rich and delightful as the dessert itself. Let's take a stroll down the sweet memory lane. The story begins in the 18th century in the bustling kitchens of France. A harried chef wrestling with a recalcitrant custard recipe accidentally let a piece of chocolate slip from his fingers into the custard mix. Not having the luxury of time to start over, he decided to serve it as is. The guests, to his surprise, were smitten by this new velvety, chocolatey delight, and thus chocolate custard was born out of serendipity. Fast forward a few decades and the dessert began to evolve. Chefs started experimenting with different types of chocolate, adding in spices, nuts, and even spirits for an extra kick. The dessert began to gain popularity in aristocratic circles and soon made its way across the pond to the New World. In the United States, chocolate custard found a new fan base. From the lavish tables of the East Coast elites to the humble homes in the Midwest, the dessert was a hit. People loved the creamy texture and the rich chocolatey flavor. It was during this time that the dessert began to appear in recipe books, and housewives started experimenting with their versions of the dessert. By the 20th century, chocolate custard had become a staple dessert in many households. It was the star of many a family gathering, the comfort food on a rainy day, and the sweet ending to a meal. Today, we find chocolate custard in various forms, from the traditional pudding-like texture to frozen custard, and even in some avant-garde gourmet dishes. From a kitchen mishap to a beloved dessert, chocolate custard has indeed come a long way. And just like its history, every spoonful of chocolate custard is a delightful surprise, a testament to the magic that can happen when chocolate meets custard. What's better than eating chocolate custard? Having a whole day dedicated to it. Now let's take a delicious dive into the origins of National Chocolate Custard Day. Picture this. It's the early 2000s and the world is just getting its first taste of reality TV. Amidst all the chaos, a group of chocolate custard enthusiasts, let's call them the Custard Crusaders, felt that their beloved dessert was being unjustly overshadowed. They decided it was high time to put chocolate custard on the map. So they did what any dessert devotee would do. They started a campaign. A campaign filled with fun, laughter, and of course an abundance of chocolate custard. They wrote letters, they made calls, they even held a few chocolate custard eating contests. Their message was simple. Chocolate custard is not just a dessert, it's a way of life. Their tireless efforts didn't go unnoticed. Soon, their campaign gained momentum and their dream of a National Chocolate Custard Day started to look more like a reality. And then on a fine day in 2008, it happened. The sweet, creamy, chocolatey dream became a reality, and National Chocolate Custard Day was officially recognized. So every year on the 3rd of May, we celebrate our love for this decadent dessert. We honor the Custard Crusaders and their chocolatey crusade. We indulge in the creamy goodness of chocolate custard, and we spread the joy it brings. And that, my friends, is how we ended up with the sweetest day of the year. So what have we learned today, other than the fact that I can eat my weight in chocolate custard? Well, we've embarked on a sweet journey, haven't we? We started with the sugary origins of our beloved chocolate custard, which, as we now know, was not just the result of some dessert-loving genius, but a delightful product of culinary evolution. It's been around for centuries, and it's not going anywhere, folks. Who would have thought the humble custard could have such a rich chocolatey history? Then we dived into the birth of National Chocolate Custard Day. And no, it wasn't created by a group of sugar-craving aliens from another planet, but by the hard-working folks just like you and me who wanted to dedicate a day to this creamy, dreamy dessert. It's the first day of May, a day we can all look forward to as the spring flowers bloom and the aroma of chocolate custard fills the air. But let's not forget the real star of the show here, the chocolate custard. That smooth, indulgent treat that's been there for us through thick and thin, through birthdays, breakups, and random Tuesday nights. It's more than just a dessert. It's a comfort food, a piece of nostalgia, a sweet memory. Remember, life is like chocolate custard, sweet, a little messy, and best enjoyed with a spoonful of humor. Until next time, keep your sweet tooth ready.